this week mean to you?
So why it matters to me is I think from a very young age I was told two things about who I was and what America has been in my own ancestry. And so those two things are one of slavery and the other thing is of being slaughtered. And so that's an important thing for me to always remind myself of, and it's not that it has to define who I am, but it's an important part of who I am and oftentimes forgotten.
I think it's really important that we remember the first peoples of this land and that we don't forget where we come from, and also potentially we can learn about other people that might also have indigenous roots.
My dad's side of the family is very tied to indigenous culture in Mexico. His grandmother was actually the medicine woman of that community, and so he spent a lot of time with her.
So a little bit of history. When the Europeans expanded their empires, they would subjugate whole populations. They would ship anything valuable back to Europe, and they would take everything for themselves. When the Americans expanded their empire, they would annihilate whole populations, and they would move the borders. And people forget that. People forget the level of brutality that went into creating this country. And so it's important for me that people recognize that in spite of that history, indigenous people are still here.
And my mom's side of the family, we used to go every year and actually have lunch and play soccer on the pyramids because her town was founded by indigenous communities that were part of the Aztec Empire, but not actually Aztecs. They were from a community called the Matlacincas.
So I'm from a tribe in Northern California called Karak Indian. It's the second largest tribe in California, and still to this day we do not legally have land that we own. And so that's just a harsh and sad reality.
I became curious about my origin, and so I had my DNA tested. I am 45% Native American.
So my mom told me that I was Black, Cherokee, and Choctaw on both my mom and dad's side. And I just didn't know what the last two meant, even though I'd heard a lot about what the first one meant in society.
So I think it's important that other people know that we're ultimately living in poverty across this nation, and that we are often forgotten in education and resources. It's sad.
Growing up as an immigrant in the US, I have been told that I don't belong here. However, my DNA says otherwise. After almost 500 years in a genocide, my native DNA lives on.
I want to thank everyone for watching. So I'll say ajihe.
Ajihe.
That's Navajo for thank you.